Hey, it's Ian. Last November, I went back to Taiwan with my partner Gina for 2 weeks. It was my first time in 7 years and her first time ever. We got to spend time with family, eat lots of good food, and see gorgeous views. In fact, early Portuguese sailors called the island Formosa, or beautiful, a well-deserved name. We arrived in Taipei on Saturday morning after a rough 13-hour flight. And of course, the first thing we did was get Taiwanese breakfast. Surrounded by the weekend bustle, we had Chinese donut wrapped in this flaky pastry with fresh soy milk to wash it all down. It's so hard to find these breakfast items in the US, so that first bite was such a welcoming experience. After breakfast, we hung out with my grandparents, where we caught up and looked through photos together. Sitting on the couch, I noticed not much had changed since my parents and I immigrated to the States 20 years ago. Although I was only 5 when we left, I still have clear memories of my childhood. For example, the front gate of the apartment complex, the nearby school track full of older people exercising, and the local dumpling shop that I used to beg for, even before opening. Our main reason to visit Taipei was to spend time with my dad's side of the family, especially my grandma. My parents used to work until late at night, so she raised me when I was little. Since she's getting older, I was really excited to see her again. We had lunch at a Japanese place in Ximending that I've visited many times since I was small. Because my grandpa knows the owner, he always hooks us up with a little something extra each time. Importantly, I saw a family whom I hadn't seen in a long time and whom I had never met before, like my cousin's new toddler. She was shy at first, but eventually got curious enough to say hi. My aunt joked that it's amazing to see 4 generations spanning 8 decades all in the same room. Ever since moving to the US, I didn't really have many opportunities to share these moments with my extended family. As we ate through the countless dishes, we swapped old memories with each other. I'm sure everyone enjoyed seeing us as much as we did. We didn't have too much time in Taipei, but we got to visit the main tourist spots. We met up with my old friend Nydia, whom we would see again later in Tainan. It was a busy weekend and the weather wasn't great. Some of the places were packed, but they're worth a quick visit. Our main destination during the first week was Hualien. The county is separated from the west by a tall mountain range. We couldn't have done any of this without my Uncle Eric, since most of the places aren't easily accessible. I personally enjoyed the long train rides through so many scenic areas. We started our journey in Sifen Old Street, a reminder of coal mining in the past. In addition to the sky lanterns that you can write wishes on, there were lots of stalls selling all sorts of souvenirs. We also visited the Hodong Cat Village, now populated with stray cats and cat-themed shops. I found it funny how quickly the cats left at sunset, as if they were clocking out of work. Ending our day at the famous Jiufen Old Street, we stayed overnight at the nearby Jinghua Si. Here we got to walk around old mining facilities left over from Japanese colonial rule. Later that morning, we finally set off for Hualien. The crown jewel of this trip was the Taroko National Park, featuring the famous Taroko Gorge. Taroko is named after the Aboriginal people of the area whose culture can be seen everywhere. We hiked the Sakadang Trail that overlooked this brilliantly blue water. There's a small rest stop along the way where we got a refreshing cup of Ayu lemon tea, much needed in the warm weather. Tangchun's Shrine, a memorial for workers that died building the Central Cross Island Highway, was the next stop. For lunch, we ate at an Aboriginal restaurant with plenty of interesting dishes, including rice steamed in bamboo sections that you smash open on a rock. We also got a few hand-woven bands from the gift shop in the restaurant and received explanations from the artist herself. At Bulo 1, we learned more about the local indigenous culture and walked across a bridge overlooking the valley. We also went through the Tunnel of 9 Turns, etched in the gorgeous marble canyon. There are plenty more places at the national park, but that's all we had time for. It was also a lot of fun exploring Hualien City, which has a laid-back beach town vibe. Dongdam and night market was teeming with delicious street food on top of games and live entertainment. Gina finally got over her fear of stinky tofu and indulged on as much guava as she wanted. Other great eats were sweet potato balls, grilled squid, and deep fried scallion pancakes with egg. There are multiple cultural parks all within walking distance, and the view of the ocean was so nice. We ended our Hualien trip a little bit earlier than expected because the wind really started picking up. Heading back to Taipei, we stopped by the port city of Keelung, home to the Miaokou night market, for lunch. Overall, we had an action-packed first week in Taiwan. My favorite parts were seeing my family, especially my grandma, and visiting Hualien, where I hadn't been often. We look forward to coming back and exploring more soon.